We're just hours away from the first and potentially only presidential debate between former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris. The pressure is mounting for both candidates after a new national poll from the New York Times and Siena College shows the candidates deadlocked. Trump at 48%, Harris at 47%, so well within the margin of error. Who knows what could happen? Let's bring in North Central College Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences and Political Science Professor Dr. Steven Caliendo. We've caught our breath from the DNC, my friend, and now it's time for another big moment.
I hope you got a nap. I certainly did, so I'm ready to go.
Let's go. Okay, so let's go. Let's talk about predictions or maybe your expectations for tonight's debate.
They have very different goals in mind. I think the former president has to continue to be on the attack because that's what he does best. I think he doesn't have to introduce himself to the public. People know him. He's been president already. Kamala Harris has some more introductions to do. She wants to paint a contrast in terms of her leadership style compared to former President Trump's leadership style. And I think she wants to paint some contrasts on policy positions as well. I would not be surprised to hear her say more than once tonight, this isn't about you. That seemed to be a theme that we picked up at the Democratic National Convention, and I think they were testing that to see how well it would work for the rest of the campaign. So I think painting a picture about somebody who's for the people, as she claims to be, and somebody who's for himself, as she would like us to believe he is, will be part of the strategy tonight.
Very interesting perspective on the strategy. What do you think that each candidate will try to avoid?
We can't talk about this exchange without talking about the gender and racial bind that Kamala Harris is in. This is what white privilege looks like, is that President Trump can act pretty much however he wants, and he won't lose support among his base. I do think he's going to try to attract some voters who haven't made up their minds, especially in key states, and so he may try to be on his best behavior. But Kamala Harris has to look presidential. She has to look tough, but she can't look too tough. She can't look angry because she'll fall into the stereotype of the angry black woman. So these are all constraints that she has to think about that he does not. I'm certain that she'll be prepared. This is something she's been facing her entire career, but it's additional constraints that she has that he does not.
Yeah, absolutely. They're facing different things, and you mentioned the fact that maybe he'll, play ball and be very calm tonight, which I think a lot of people have said, well, a part of her strategy would be maybe to try to get under his skin a little bit. What if he does stay calm? That's why they wanted the mics to be muted when others are talking.
That's correct, Anita. And look, he will do his best, I would imagine, whatever that looks like. I don't know what advice he's been getting on this. I would have assumed that he would be getting advice to stay calm, to not go off. When I say script, I don't mean literal script, but the practices that they've done. But Corey Lewandowski's back on the campaign. He has a book that's called Let Trump Be Trump. And so they very well may do that. Look, the format plays into the former president's advantage in this regard. It's true that the microphones will be muted. That helps him. It's also true that there's no audience. He tends to go off script more and to ramble when he's getting feedback from an audience who is adoring of him. And so without the audience, we saw it in the first debate, he tends to be a little bit more constrained. And we'll have to see how the moderators, if they're going to interject at all more than Dana Bash and Jake Tapper did. That debate, they just let them talk. And so we'll see how it goes tonight.
Okay, and then just on a final note here, but maybe most importantly, how deeply into the policies do you think we'll get in 2-minute bites?
Not very much. You know it, Anita. It was a great question, and you set me up beautifully. We're hearing a lot of people saying, well, what are the specifics? What are the specifics? How will they do it? Particularly on Kamala Harris, because she hasn't been president before. But the fact is that the format of what we call presidential debates are not set up to have meaningful policy discussions. They're really set up for sound bites. They're set up to get ideas across quickly, and they're set up to see about the temperament of the candidates, how they react to the moderators, how they react to one another. So don't expect a lot of real specific policy, and that's probably good because that's not great television.
All right, we know a lot of people will be tuning in, and what do they say? You can't necessarily win a debate, but you can lose a debate. So we're going to talk for sure about how things went coming up tomorrow. Thanks so much.